A Justice Department source tells NBC News former Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning, sentenced to 35 years for leaking classified information, is on the short list. NBC's senior investigative and legal correspondent Cynthia McFadden is here with more. Cynthia, good morning to you.
Good morning. Great to see you here, Meredith. A decision could come as soon as today for Manning, who's tried to commit suicide twice this year and also went on a hunger strike in a bid for gender reassignment surgery. The question for the president is the 7 years Manning has served punishment enough?
See all those people standing down there?
The case broke in 2010 with all the makings of a spy thriller.
A senior Pentagon official says the prime suspect is 22-year-old Army Private First Class Bradley Manning.
I think he should be executed for doing what he did.
Private Manning, on a forward operating base in eastern Iraq, ultimately sentenced to 35 years in prison for leaking classified military and diplomatic files to WikiLeaks. The day after the stunning verdict, another bombshell when Manning announced she was a transgender woman now known as Chelsea. Was Chelsea Manning a spy?
She was not. She was an individual who I think we count on in America. She was a whistleblower. She was somebody who turns to, like so many other whistleblowers, a journalist, in order to reveal information that the American public not only should know, but needs to know.
Army Reserve Officer David Coombs was Manning's defense lawyer. He convinced her to plead guilty to numerous counts to trust the military justice system.
After this case, I had to tell Chelsea, I've represented murderers, I've represented rapists, I've represented child molesters, and none of them received 35 years. None of them.
Coombs agreed to a rare interview, hoping to persuade President Obama to commute Manning's sentence, a sentence nearly 10 times longer than that of other recent whistleblowers. Administration officials tell NBC News a commutation is being actively considered by the president, that Manning is on the short list. 4 former and current Army intelligence officers tell NBC, in hindsight, the Manning sentence seems excessive to them. The impact of the Manning leaks less damaging than was believed at the time. At her trial, Manning apologized for her actions, but that apology was never heard outside the courtroom until now. The audio tape obtained by NBC News.
First, Your Honor, I want to start off with an apology. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that my actions hurt people. I'm sorry that it hurt the United States.
Among the most explosive of the leaked material, this video.
Come on, fire!
A shocking U.S. Army Apache helicopter attack on a group of people in Iraq. 11 were killed, including 2 Reuters journalists.
Oh yeah, look at those dead bastards.
Manning said how distressed she was by what seemed to her a devaluing of human life. Was the government able to point to any specific damage, any loss of life, any compromise of a U.S. intelligence as a result of the releases from Chelsea Manning?
No, they were not. And we had secret sessions of the court-martial where that would be the place that the government would do that. And the answer was no. What they would be able to show, and what they did show, was certain diplomats had their feelings hurt. Certain countries were upset.
Again, Manning addressing the judge on that never-before-heard audio tape.
Can I go forward? I want to go forward. Before I can do that, though, I understand that I must pay a price for my decisions and actions.
The judge decided the price was 35 years. And now the question for the president. Was that too much? Is 7 years enough?
This case certainly took a long time to get over. I've had many acquittals since. None of them have filled the void that I feel with this outcome. Personally,
this one hurt.
It did. I would be the happiest person, I think, alive, next to maybe Chelsea, if the president does in fact commute her sentence.
Many of the intelligence officials we spoke to believe Manning's sentence was driven in part by another leaker, Edward Snowden, whose actions came to light just as Manning's trial was wrapping up. Now, Snowden's disclosures, the officials we spoke to agree, were far more damaging to America's interests, but Snowden was beyond their reach in Russia. Manning, they say, paid the price.
Cynthia, thank you so much.
As you mentioned, we'll find out what